downtown where you can get a date for 50, 60, 70, even 80% off the original social marketplace price. Coming to paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. Take a trip into the macabre world of goth modeling in the new millennium in this all-new Spinsterella story. Pre-order your copy of Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer at Amazon.com and other online booksellers everywhere. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteem Season of the Witch Girl. The aspiring angel takes on a wicked teenage witch in this action-packed, all-new Esteem series adventure. Pick up your copy of Esteem Season of the Witch Girl in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. I got a couple of comments from some simps regarding my video talking about Shannon Sharpe and the low self-esteem of black men. And these individuals got really emotional regarding my observations talking about Shannon Sharpe and those black men who go out here and pursue low-hanging fruit like the OnlyFans model that got Shannon Sharpe in the middle of the scandal he's currently in. Now, these individuals got really emotional in the comment section to the point where I had to literally pause the comment section for a minute in that video because these individuals were so out of control, and I had to shut that whole situation down because these simps could not really deal with the truth that was possibly being told about them. Now, the old adage that the late David Carroll used to say is a hit dog will holler, and when it comes down to some of these black males who have low self-esteem, whenever you start making observations regarding this type of behavior, these are the guys who get emotional in the comment section because you're telling truths about them and their behavior. And I had one of these individuals who wanted to go out here and try to say that, that Bill Bellicheck, the white male coach of the New England, formerly of the New England Patriots and the University of North Carolina, I believe, was out here involved with a 24-year-old white woman. Her name is Jordon Hudson. And they wanted to use that as a justification for the Shannon Sharpe being involved with this white woman from OnlyFans, not understanding that the deflection they were using was basically proving my point regarding how these older men have extreme low self-esteem, and basically go out here and look to get involved with these white females who are low-hanging fruit as an effort, as a way to build up their self-confidence. Now, in my book, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, I go in depth about older men like Shannon Sharpe and Bill Bellicheck, and in each case, it's basically a case of these guys fitting the pattern and profile of an old simp. And when it comes down to the old simp is a guy who basically is out here in the social marketplace, and they're in the social marketplace looking for a young woman because they still think that they got it and still think that they can be players in the game. But when they go into the game, it's usually game over for these guys. And it's game over for these guys because they come into the game insecure. And as they're coming into the game insecure, they're looking to overcompensate by getting involved with this younger woman in an effort to bluster their self-confidence. But as they look to get involved with these younger women, what happens is they don't understand that the game has completely changed, and many of these women take advantage of that. They take advantage of that by going out here and using these guys basically to go out here and finance a lavish lifestyle at their expense because they know that this high value man basically is played out at this point. They know that this high value man has played out at this point, and he's gone from being the high value man of his generation to becoming today's old simp. And that goes back to a saying that I used to make, that today's high value man is tomorrow's old simp. And that's basically what both Shannon Sharpe and Bill Bellicheck are. And whether they be black or white, they're still old simps. And when it comes to both men, they're both pathetic. Both of them are pathetic because they're trying to go out here and stay in a game that should have been over for them. These guys should have basically been married to the woman of their youth and should be growing older with her. But instead, what they're doing is staying in the social marketplace, and staying in a social marketplace that is changing and evolving. And that's where they basically wind up embarrassing themselves, like Shannon Sharpe did when he got caught up in this scandal by getting involved with this OnlyFans model. I mean, Shannon Sharpe got involved with this OnlyFans model because of his low self-esteem and his desperation to get a white validation and approval, since he could no longer get white validation and approval from Fox Sports, and basically had that fight with that racist on there. I forget what his name is, as related to Undisputed. I mean, that's how, again, this guy is. I mean, he was basically on there, and again, he had basically won the whole thing by walking away, but because he had low self-esteem, he was still looking for white validation, and since he couldn't get it with the guy, I remember his name now, Skip Bayless, he now was looking to get involved with this white woman, going from one predator to another, and that basically shows a pattern of low self-esteem as related to Shannon Sharpe. But with Bill Bellicheck, again, what this viewer wanted to do was deflect and say that, oh, here's this white man who's doing the same thing. And the late David Carroll talked about this. This is another variation of the white people do it too argument. But a simp is a simp, whether he be black or white. And when it comes to Bill Bellicheck is another textbook example of the old simp. Again, a former high-value man who could have gone out on top, as related to being this coach who coached Super Bowl champions like the New England Patriots. No, what's in the case of Bill Bellicheck is another case of an old simp, again, from UNC, who's still trying to play the game, but the game was over for him as related to the social marketplace, as he got involved with this Jordon Hudson. Again, this Jordon Hudson, whose mom is, according to some reports, owns a sex shop, and has gotten with Bill Bellicheck in a questionable way. Again, gotten with him in a questionable way because as he had this interview with CBS Sports, we see that this high-value man is, again, an old simp because he couldn't even lead in the interview for that CBS report. No, Bill Bellicheck wasn't the leader in that relationship and as related to things, and was basically shown to be a complete clown all throughout that interview, where he thought he was looking like he was on top, but basically when this woman again took over the interview and was dictating things, this really made him look really weak. And again, this is what happens with old simps. Again, old simps stay in the game too long, and instead of being the player that they think that they're going to be by getting with this woman, they just get played out. And they get played out because these men don't have the self-esteem or self-confidence to go out here and pursue women on a higher level. No, when it comes down to guys like Bill Bellicheck, again, like Shannon Sharpe, they have low self-esteem, and even though they've got lots of money, the problem is that their image of self is not one of where they see their own self-worth or value. No, these high-value men don't see their value as men, and instead of them seeing their value as men, what these men do to overcompensate is look to pursue these relationships with younger women, but the younger women they look to pursue are not women of good character. No, what these men want to do is get an easy win, and because they want to get an easy win, what they do is go for the women at the lowest rungs of the social marketplace. Yes, these women may be young, yes, they may appear to be attractive on the outside, but their values and character are a hot mess. And as their values and character are a hot mess, what happens is these old simps, again, look to go out here and use these women as attachments to try to elevate their self-confidence and self-worth. And as they look to use these women to elevate their self-confidence and self-worth, they hope to go out here and use the attachments that they buy them, like clothes, jewelry, cars, homes, as leverage to be able to control the relationship and lead the woman. But sadly, because these men are not taking charge over their own lives and don't put themselves first, these women basically gain leverage over these men and gain leverage over these men, like in the case of Shannon Sharpe, where this woman basically used his lust for women and his need to participate in deviant and debaucherous sexual behavior as a way to, again, create a scandal where she could have Tony Busby file a lawsuit against him and get paid at his expense. And in the case of this woman, Jordon Hudson, she's basically going out here buying lots of property and making lots of deals at his expense, according to a report in the Daily Mail. I mean, this guy basically is getting played. And again, this is what happens to old simps. Again, old simps, basically what they do is go out here and they think they can finance a relationship by being this high value man. But the whole thing is that their relationships are not real relationships based on anything substantive. No, their relationships basically are akin to prostitution. And these guys, again, have gone from simps into tricks. And again, these guys have gone from being a simp who, again, was looking to pander to younger women to becoming a trick who's paying for the possibility of sexual access and will possibly be kept away from getting that sexual access by women who will keep them at bay with an ashy dick and extra dry balls, as they basically are thinking, oh, I got me a young thing. But the whole thing is that, does he have the young thing, or does the young thing have him? Critical question you gotta ask about Bill Bellicheck and Shannon Sharpe. And again, you gotta ask that question because is the man, again, in the relationship with the woman, or is the woman running the man? And it looks like in both cases, the women are running the man, and they're running the man because the man is a simp with extremely low self-esteem, low self-worth, because that's the only reason why this old man is out here chasing young women, because, again, if a man is a leader, he's not out here dealing with no young woman. No, his standards would be a lot higher. His standards would be a lot higher than dealing with some woman on OnlyFans like Shannon Sharpe, or dealing with some woman who's out here being promiscuous, possibly like in the case of this Jordon Hudson. I mean, if this woman was again, someone should be out here with someone her own age. But the whole thing is she's with Bill Bellicheck looking to get, again, money for herself. And as these women get money for themselves, what they're doing with this old simp is basically financing a side dude. As you got guys like Bill Bellicheck sitting up there with the ashy Vienna sausage, thinking he's putting it on this woman, but she's putting one on him as she's indifferently just sitting there, just getting stroked. And basically, as she's getting stroked, again, she's getting her back blown out by a younger side dude. That's what's happening in both of these cases. And again, the viewer who wanted to get emotional. They wanted to get emotional to the point where they wanted to, again, look to deflect. But you can't deflect with simps because it doesn't matter what color a simp is still a simp. And it's the behavior that we're looking at. And the behavior is a reflection of the content of their character, because Bill Bellicheck is just as much a simp as Shannon Sharpe is. And the foundation of their simping is their low self-esteem. Both of these men have extremely low self-esteem, which has them pursuing this low-hanging fruit. Again, they pursue the low-hanging fruit because, again, they want to get the easy win. They want to get the victory. They want to get the W. But the whole thing is that in their desperate quest to get the W, they wind up taking an L because you're dealing with women who basically are not with you because they want you. They only want you for what they got. And sadly, that proves an axiom that I have proposed. And that axiom is that the high value man eventually becomes the old simp, and he becomes the old simp because yes, he's got a lot of money, but the whole thing is that his self-worth and self-esteem have dropped so low that he becomes the old simp. And again, the old simp, basically, he may have lots of money and he may enter a social marketplace, but the social marketplace has changed. And as the social marketplace has changed, the high value man finds himself in a whole new world of trouble because as the old simp, he's not getting the attention of the young, attractive women who are wife material. No, he's only attracting female predators. And as he's attracting female predators, he's getting played. And that's basically what's happening to Bill Bellicheck. He used to coach championship teams, but now he's being misled by this woman into getting her a payday at his expense. And if he doesn't watch it, he may be on child support in his golden years, because chicks like this, when they see an old simp, again, they will try to go out here and squeeze some glaze out of that wrinkled old Vienna sausage, and again, get themselves a child and get child support for themselves. Again, they're thinking about the payday at the end of the day, and these guys are just thinking about play, but the whole thing is that payday turns into a payday for many of these women because of these men's low self-esteem. And that whole statement of low self-esteem, that upsets many black men. Many black men can't stand the whole statement about low self-esteem, but the low self-esteem is what motivates these men to go out here and get with these bottom tier women. Again, most men who have values and character would have nothing to do with. I mean, any man of character would never even bother with a woman from OnlyFans, wouldn't bother with a woman like Jordon Hudson. No, she may be fly looking, but that man is going to say, look, I value myself and I can do better than this chick over here. I can do much better than this chick over here who's basically at the bottom of the world. And yeah, it may be easy to get her, but she's not worth getting with because I want to get a woman on my level as related to values and character, because if you see yourself in a good light, you're going to want a woman who's a reflection of that light, and you're going to realize that your time is precious, and since your time is precious, you don't want to waste your time dealing with a woman at the bottom of the world, because a woman who's at the bottom of the world is not going to help you elevate yourself to be the best and be at the top. No, that woman, again, basically is not worth your time. And again, men who value their time ain't going to deal with no woman from bust downtown. No, they're going to understand that woman who, again, if I'm a high value man, why am I going to bust downtown? Critical question I gotta ask Shannon Sharpe and Bill Bellicheck. Why are you in bust downtown looking for a woman that's 50, 60, 70, even 80% off the original social marketplace price? I mean, if you're a baller, you would think you would be dealing with a woman who, again, can be on your level, not one who's far beneath it, because when you go to bust downtown, they're far beneath your level. And again, when I look at Bill Bellicheck, again, this guy, he wanted to deflect, but he's just another simp. And again, the simp with the same low self-esteem. But when it comes to the black man, again, this is an issue I'm going to go with in a live stream. Again, many black men don't want to deal with their issues, so they want to say white people do it too. But the thing is that white people doing it too doesn't mean that it's not, that you don't have to be accountable for you. I mean, when it comes to black men, we have to understand, if you want better women, you gotta do better, because you're the leader, you're the head. You gotta do better as related to things, because just because white people do it too doesn't mean that it's right for you. And again, when it comes to Bill Bellicheck, again, he's still a simp. And again, simps are going to be held accountable by me regardless of race. I hold them accountable because I have a standard as a man. Again, I don't deal with people who are like this on this simp level, and I want to see men take themselves above the simp level, because you can do better than, again, low-hanging fruit. No, you can do way better than these types of women, and there are much better women out there, but you just have to take the time to apply yourself and go out here and improve yourself as a man so that you can find quality women who are on your level. Now, if you want to learn how to identify the behavior of a guy with low self-esteem, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping: Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, on Amazon.com, and that'll teach you about the low self-esteem of a simp and the behaviors of a simp that keep him from being able to find quality women, and learn how to identify the behaviors of a simp so you can break out of the simp paradigm and hopefully get yourself on a road to improving your personal life. And if you want to learn how to identify the dysfunctional behavior of males like this, you can also pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com as well. And that book will teach you how to break out of the whole beta male paradigm and learn how to take your role as a man that as God has established for you in God's order. And if you want to see me make more videos taking simps to the barbecue, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA, from the Black Boule, in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.